right, great. Appreciate it. Great to be back here starting week 3, college football season. Exciting. I want to start out by thanking the faculty and staff. It was a faculty staff appreciation week last week, and the support we had in the stadium was sensational from them, from our student body, and the cooperation from the faculty and the staff in terms of putting on a Friday night game is really important and much appreciated by us. There's a lot of work that goes into a Friday night game, and it's going to help make for a great atmosphere here Friday night. Electric here at Chestnut Hill. I know our students will be out, and so I want to say thank you to them, and that was very, very important for us. Don't really have much to say about last week, Richmond's game. I think, all of our attention. We're happy to get a win. We're about, improvement and really on to Kansas. It's a short week. They'll be here Friday night. We'll be playing. They've got certainly an electric player in their running back, and he's a special talent. Coach Miles is really one of the great coaches in our game. I've had a chance to play against his teams when I was at Florida, and very, very much respect him and the way that he coaches and what he brings to the table. He'll have a team that'll continue to develop and be tough and get better and be a very, very competitive team because he's a competitive guy, and you can see it on the tape already. They have talent and what he's going to shape that program into. So we have all the respect in the world for Kansas, for Coach Miles and everything that he's doing there. So we know that we've got to have a great week of practice in order to be ready to play an elite football game. So that's our mindset right now. We just got off the practice field today and had a pretty good day today. This is, as you know, normally I'd come in here. We would not have practiced, but since we're playing Friday, this was our Tuesday. So we just got off the field and got a lot of work done. So we're excited to move forward. Any questions?
What has Zay's impact been able to do as far as not just what he's done with the ball, but take attention away from other players and open things up?
Yeah, I think that you need to be aware of where he is on the field. He's in as I said earlier, he's got electric speed. Some guys are really fast. He's really fast, but he also is a tight turn guy, and he's got great ball skills. So, our goal is to get him more and more involved in different facets of our game plan, and we're going to continue to push the envelope there because I think that he can be a game changer.
Coming out of a game like Richmond, just how do you then take the next step with the guys even after the first game of the year where you maybe had them on specific snaps or held back a little bit in the game plan? What's the next stage in developing them and maybe working on a few more intricate parts of the game plan?
Well, I just think that we're going into week 3, playing a Power 5 opponent, and I think as we go into week 3 now, a lot of the things that we had worked on in camp and a lot of things that we felt that, wanted to be a part of our game plan need to arrive in the game plan. And so for me to sit here and say, like, there's going to be some radical change or something, I'm not really promoting that, but there will be more things within what we do, as I would say would be for a lot of people throughout the country as you're starting to go into week 3 now and you're in the Power 5 competition.
Coach, let's talk about Max Richardson. He's got 11 solos, 2.5 tackles for a loss.
Yeah.
Just getting to the football.
Yeah, Max is a really good player. He's a real student of the game. He really works hard at it. He's in great physical condition. He's got really good speed and explosive capability. So he's playing fast. He's a byproduct of a guy that's played a fair amount of football around here. So, and his approach is very, very mature. Very, very businesslike. So he's on top of tendencies and things like that. So he's a quick read on what's happening in front of him.
Isaiah update? Anything getting closer? Or?
Yeah, he is. He's really improving all the time. As I told you, I kind of just go through each week, and we're not going to rush anybody. So we're just kind of waiting to see. It's in the hands of the people it should be. But he's getting better every week and stronger and looks great. So I'm hopeful that, you know, it won't be long before we have him. Yeah. Well, I think the key is to maximize, you know, when you have these short weeks, you got to get going right away. You know, you can't spin your wheels. On Sunday, for example, you know, we got in here very, very early in the morning, got the film graded, got right to Kansas. And then the players came in. You don't want to shortchange a win, but you can't spend all day on the win. The next piece is the physical piece of this. You know, we didn't do any physical work on Sunday, on the field. We had a very light lift, watched the tape, got the lift out of the way, probably won't get another lift in this week. Knew we wanted to have a big physical day today, had that big physical day, and then we'll evaluate what tomorrow will be. And so we may start the recovery of the week already tomorrow. So I think, you know, we have an approach to it. You know, it's something to me that, you know, I talk to a lot of people around the country that I trust, and get input on, you know, especially the strength coaches that I know, and about body recovery. And then you got to have some feel to your own team. You know, we didn't play a night game, and our players weren't on the field for 70 snaps. But on the flip side of it, I want to make sure we're fast on Friday night. Yeah. Well, I think, again, I think the physicality happened today. I think we cut back the number of periods and the number of snaps today. And I think tomorrow's the day where I'm going to evaluate whether we're in shoulder pads or not. And because I like to start the recovery process. So tomorrow I'm going to discuss up top when I haven't had a chance. You know, I came really right off the field. I wanted to see what today looked like. And then I'll discuss what tomorrow is. And I already explained this to our team, that so that they feel like they're a part of the plan. But I'm going to start the recovery process. Now, what exactly that means tomorrow, it could mean a couple of things. It could mean the shoulder pads could come off. It could mean a reduction in snap count, which that'll happen. And we may basically take a Wednesday and meld it with a little bit of a Wednesday with a Thursday. You know, like when we start the season out, we usually have 2 Thursdays before we play the game in our minds, you know, the way our practice is structured. And so I would anticipate that we'll try to find a way to meld a Wednesday and a Thursday practice tomorrow on a Tuesday. And then we'll go, you know. Is there an exact science? No. You know, I think you gotta have to feel for your team, where you're at, what you're trying to get accomplished. Do you feel like, in the words of Coach Meyer, do you have enough game snaps from practice? If I go up and watch the tape and I don't feel like we have enough game snaps, then we're going to create more game snaps tomorrow, and that's the way it is, you know. So I want to evaluate that. Yeah. 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 We've had a huge focus on getting the ball out and creating turnovers. I think I told you this before. We're big into the daily double. You know, the daily double is you want to win the explosive battle and you want to win the turnover battle. If you can put those two things together, call it the daily double, you know, you got like an 85-90% chance of winning the game. So we're really conscious of explosive plays. So we have to win the battle, meaning we have to have more on offense, you know, and we have to limit them on defense. So we need to come out ahead of that battle. And then on the turnover battle, we've got to get more takeaways, and we got to not give away. So we've been pretty good with that.
I'm assuming you can, unless the name like the total yard, but you can balance that with whatever, just taking the ball. How do you navigate when you give up some yards, but when you take the ball?
Yeah, I mean, we're tracking takeaways for that reason. They're game changers. You know, you got to win the turnover battle. I mean, it just has to happen. And it's critical. So you got to focus on that. We have a tremendous amount of accountability to how we carry the football on both sides of the ball. If we intercept it or we carry it on offense, whoever has the ball, carrying it high and tight, okay? And so we put a tremendous emphasis on ball security, and then we're constantly trying to get the ball out on defense. So just, I think like anything else, you're trying to get something done, you have to put a heavy emphasis on it.
Are the total yards of the defense allowed so far a concern, or is it just kind of like a settling thing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a concern. I mean, you don't want to give up a lot of yards. But I think, what you don't want to give up is a lot of scores. And I think we've been pretty good there. We've kind of bent, but we haven't broken. And I think, scores are what scare me. Those are explosives usually. But I think we've given up some chunks. But the starting defense gave up 10 points last week and whatever it was the week before. And I think, we're able to stay explosive on offense and stay ahead of that tally. But the goal is to have 0 points. The goal is to be 3 and out as many times as you can be, 100%. And I think the next thing is stop the run. Don't worry about the throw if you can't stop the run. Because if you can't stop the run, you'll never get to the throw. They'll just run it right down your throat. So we've got to make sure that this is a big game for us, so we've got to stop the run. They've got an elite tailback.
On the offensive line, there you have the 3 different positions: your guard, tackle, center. How does those 3 positions differ within your mindset and how you approach just blocking schemes and development of the players?
Well, I'm a big 5 best guy in the field guy. I'm not, I'm never going to I'm not going to worry about playing a shorter guy at tackle I just think you play your 5 best players. Now, having said that, I think you're looking for a little more length at the tackle position. And I think at the center position, you're looking for a little bit more athleticism and a little bit more of a quarterback leader mindset at the center position. I would say those are fair things to say, but we're trying to get the 5 best players on the field and play them to their best potential positionally. And that's just what I've done my whole career.
Does that generate versatility, or do you look for guys that are versatile when you look at the 5 best guys situation?
I think you have to have versatility. If you're a young lineman coming up and you want to play at the next level, your value is based on how many spots you can play. Unless you're an elite tackle, you got to be able to play, 2 or 3 positions across the board. Then your value's high because they don't keep that many offensive linemen active. In college, I just really believe in cross-training guys. I've been on this for years. You cross-train your guys up front, right, left, center, guard, tackle. And we're all cross-trained up here. We've got a lot of versatility here. We've got 4 guys that can snap the ball. We've got a bunch of guys that can play tackle, guard. So, just because I think with your depth, you've got to be able to have that. Otherwise, what you don't want to do is have an injury and put a guy that might be your 9th best talent, but he's your 3rd tackle. That doesn't make any sense. People get way too up. I used to hear, not to get off on a tangent, but, oh, well, I remember I think when we left Florida, I remember someone saying, I forgot whoever was the coordinator at that time after we left, but, well, you got to re-recruit the team now because they recruited it to a spread. I'm like, okay, well, I was the offensive line coach there, and no, we didn't. Okay, we recruited the best offensive lineman we could possibly find, and we coached them. Okay, so that's another to me bunch of garbage. They recruit to an offense. That's all. Yeah, right. So like, if you're an elite offensive lineman, we're not going to recruit you because we want a thinner, taller guy, so we won't take you even though you're one heck of a football player. I don't know where this stuff originates from. It blows my mind. People just talk to talk, And I think sometimes coaches say bizarre things, too, to make it like they've got some secret sauce. There's no secret sauce. Get the best players you can get your hands on and play them, man. If they're good, they're good. They're all the same plays. They all work. Crazy.
Reason why I asked was like...
You're asking the wrong guy because I'm a line guy, right? So, for me, that's like my pet peeve, I just listen to this stuff, and I just laugh to myself.
Well, the reason why I asked was it looked like on Saturday, AJ looked like he was bouncing a little bit more outside, and I didn't know how much of that was the lineman versus creating a hole versus him hitting the hole versus, guys being able to shift out and learning developing the position.
It's always a little of both. I think there are some times where, sometimes one thing that AJ's working on is, God gave him such great speed, okay? He feels like he can beat everybody to the perimeter. And sometimes he can. But sometimes you got to hold that gap, and then that gap opens, and you can split the defense. On the flip side of that, I still think that, we're still seeing a fairly multiple amount of defenses. And so, early in the season, I think, there's some gray in there sometimes. It just happens, But, I think we've played pretty well up front, to be honest with you. I just heard John Phillips was oh, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, sorry about that. Delete. Press the delete button. Delete, 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 delete.
Steve, I was
Jay
going
Baum said that, not me.
I was going to ask you about John because he's a guy that has been through the program a long time and sort of come along slowly, and now he's sort of he's playing really well. What can you say about his development overall?
I mean, he is a guy, like you said. I mean, he has come in here and he paid his dues. He redshirted and he didn't really play. And, there was some early on, like, is he going to be a player? And then all of a sudden, in his redshirt junior year, he gets on the field, has a really good year, and then he's off and running. And, honestly, that's the norm to me for a good offensive lineman. Develop, and have a really good 2-year career, And sometimes it's 3 years, but, everybody, this whole fast-paced deal now, everybody thinks like, come out of high school, you should be starting as a true freshman, right? I mean, but John's done it the right way. And John's is having a great year and will go on and have a great opportunity to play at the next level.
Have you had a chance to look around the ACC at all? I mean, obviously Clemson's up there, but the rest of it seems pretty wide open.
Yeah.
What do you see? Some teams kind of come down a little bit the past weekend.
I don't know. I don't really know. It's so early in the season. I don't really gather too much. We all know Clemson's an elite team. I mean, that's not the great mystery, but where everybody is, who knows? We're going into week 3. There's a lot of football left to be played, and a lot of team cultures yet to be developed, and so it's hard to know. I'm not real sure. I don't pay a lot of attention to it early. Even I don't pay attention with us. I mean, it's all about the next game. And it's not a cliche. I think it's just the way it is, especially early. I think as the season moves on, you can kind of get a better read on where teams are, But right now, a lot of things are up and down, It has a lot to do sometimes with turnovers and, penalties and things that get you out of whack a little bit, and it can skew the game one way or the other pretty quickly, I think, early on. And teams have a mechanism of battling back. I think you get into week 6, and you're going to start getting a pretty good read on what's going on within our conference or any conference, probably. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to get the ball in the air. There's screens, there's underneath routes against the linebackers. We're doing all those. Usually, there's a lot of check downs to backs. So I think screens and check downs are where you're going to see those guys catch a lot of balls or can catch a lot of balls. So I think being on the field and third down, and AJ's on the field more in third down. So you're going to see more of that, Sometimes our first and second down game is a heavy play action game, which can have a tendency. There are sometimes check downs, but sometimes it's such a heavy play fake, and it's down the field a little bit, So, but he's pretty involved, in a lot of the naked game and stuff like that. That's been good. Just today, I mean, he looked great catching the ball today. I mean, it's really starting to eye pop to me, that he's just doing a great job with it. That and protection.
You mentioned coaching against Les Miles back in the SEC when you were in Florida and he was at LSU.
Yep.
What do you remember about those games in particular and coaching against him?
Oh, he always had the fake on the field goal one year, and the ball got mishandled. I'll never forget it. Watching on the sideline, and it was on the ground, and when it hit the ground, it could have went this way or this way. Of course, it rolled like, they got the first down like that, But, I mean, he's always got, some trickeration in his bag. That's one of his big things, over the years. And I think he's, one of those guys that's going to take chances and You know, he makes college football fun in a lot of ways, not just with that, but just with personality and everything else. Been in a lot of big-time ball games, and, you know, certainly one of the great coaches in the history of our game, no doubt about that now. He gets his teams ready to play. I mean, you always felt like when you played LSU, man, they were ready to roll, you know. And they had some great players, super talented players, you know. And he's got personality with it, you know. So, you know, I mean, whether you're playing in the swamp or we played him at their place, which playing at their place was rough duty. I mean, really tough, you know. Yeah, hold that tiger. Good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.